Hey everyone, welcome back to my masterclass. This is the third class in the 5-part series. We are going to be talking about patterning today. This subject is definitely something that a lot of people, especially me, even when I first started, was very scary. But we're going to make it fun. We're going to make this super fun and easy for you to understand. And I will go over the materials you're going to be using and also do a demonstration during the 20 minutes that I have with you guys. So let's get started. All right, so some of the tools that I'm going to be talking about is pretty universal, so you can buy any different brand you want. It really doesn't matter the price either because these are just drafting materials that you're going to be using for your patterns. So I can highly recommend buying duct tape. Duct tape is so crucial in armor patterning for me and a lot of people that I know. I think this is one of the most critical things that you can, use for any project, along with saran wrap. And you're probably wondering, what is this? What is this? Well, this is mainly used for wrapping, when you're mailing out things. This saran wrap for movers, especially to contain all of their furniture and things of that sort, or if they're wrapping like boxes together to ship. I actually found out by accident that I could use this for cosplay. So ever since I found that out, I've been recommending this to everyone. And now that you know what I do is that I love using packaging saran wrap. I actually made this discovery 2 years ago because I was wrapping my Gunpla, which is Gundam model kits, for a move. And then I realized, hold on, this is really easy to wrap around my body. So, the light switch in my head just was so bright. I literally was like, okay, I want to buy a bunch of these so I can use this for cosplay. So it's never left me because it is the hardest thing to do is, like wrapping yourself to make patterns for armor. So I highly recommend buying one of these. They last forever and they can be used in conjunction with duct tape. So this will save you. This will save you time. And also, a lot of times I just wrap myself. It can be done. It's easier when you ask a friend to wrap you in these materials if you're making patterns. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys a demonstration of this, but these two are so critical for armor patterning. I also like to always recommend, these aren't just regular scissors. I'm a scissors crazy person when it comes to a scissor for every job. This is a non-stick scissor. It's sold everywhere. You don't have to buy this brand. This is a Japanese brand, by the way. It is called Clipper 210. This is a universal scissor for everything. But the best part about this scissor is non-stick. So look for a non-stick scissors because when you are cutting your pattern and getting yourself out of the pattern, which we will see very soon, you don't want the scissors to get stuck, when you're cutting your pattern out with duct tape. So if you are trying to cut yourself out and the scissors get stuck, regular scissors, you're gonna be panicking and it's stressful. And then you had to clean your scissors afterwards with Goo Gone or something. And you don't want to do that, right? So get yourself a pair of non-stick scissors. All right, so the fun part that I can talk about is manipulating shapes. Since this is only 20 minutes, I really want to just go over the tools that you're going to be needing. There are so many different tutorials online to show you exactly how to manipulate different kind of foams or thermoplastics and things of that nature. So I'm just going to trust you that you can look that up because this is mainly about materials. And also, a pattern tutorial for your arm or something. But yeah, I love using a really industrial heat gun. What I mean by that is that it has an adjustable heat sensor. Let me actually use another camera here so you guys can see all the stuff I use. So this one I bought for about, let me tell you guys the prices. That's first and foremost because I think telling you guys how much things cost really helps with budgeting. So duct tape, I bought about 5 rolls together, and they were like $10. You can go to Home Depot or your craft supply store. Sometimes they have discounts, maybe 99 cents each. I got these on Amazon, and also the saran wrap for moving. This roll is about, I think, 2 for $15, but they last forever. So if it's too expensive, you can just go to a dollar store and buy regular saran wrap. That's fine too. But like I said, if you're wrapping yourself, this is a godsend. A pair of nonstick scissors is about $10, I would say, $10. And I want to show you guys my heat gun. So I bought a heat gun prior, and, you know, I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I was like, okay, $20 is fine, you know, but after maybe 20 projects, I was like, you know what? I need an industrial heat gun because of the projects I'm doing. And also, you know, like the nozzle was so wide. So the differences in this heat gun is that it has a adjustable heat right here. So it doesn't always have to be super hot, especially if you're using something like foam. You can just like turn it to 3 or something halfway, and it will still manipulate your foam. If you're using Worbla, you want to use something hotter. So I really like that option here for adjustable heat. Also, what's really cool about this is that these come off, and they have different varying tips that you can use, pretty much nozzles, that you can focus the heat on specific parts of the material you're using. For example, when you're using Worbla, which is sometimes you don't even need to heat the whole thing, like the whole sheet. With this, you can heat just a specific small part, and it will do this job for you without manipulating the whole thing. Because a lot of times if you're using Worbla, a lot of people have noticed that it bubbles up everywhere else, and it gets very aggravating. So investing in a really amazing heat gun, a more industrial strength heat gun, which is hotter and you know, has nozzles, is a huge investment. If you're wondering what this is a heat gun holder. I just got this because a lot of times when I leave my heat gun on my table, it rolls around, and it burned me once. No one wants to be burned. So I can show you guys through this other camera. So this is the most amazing thing I've ever bought. It looks simple, but really it's a godsend. So it sits on your table like this, and then your heat gun is propped up. You're not, you know, risking your arm from getting burned. You're not risking any part of your body getting burned. And it also looks nice on your table. And also it lets it cool down after you use it. So it's really, really cool. You can buy these on Amazon, or I've also seen them at Harbor Freight sometimes. I'm not sure if they sell it anymore. If you guys don't have a Harbor Freight or like a Home Depot or something that has this, you can always buy these online. They're very easy to find. So they're like a heat gun holder. They have really fancy ones. I really like this one because mainly you can bring it all around, and they're very lightweight. So if you're traveling and you have to work on a project somewhere somewhere like your mom's house or something, or your cousin's house or friend's house or something, this will not take a lot of space in your luggage, and it's very lightweight and it's safe. So I love this thing. And I never even knew this was ever, a thing, because I started noticing that like every time I had it on my table, I might be able, I might be burned or something. And I was always really paranoid. So getting a heat gun and also a heat gun holder is super cool and awesome. And, I highly recommend it. To also manipulate your foam or your Worbla, I love these acrylic domes. I cannot recommend these enough if you're making armor. So let me have my camera zoom in, because these come in various sizes. A lot of times if you're making armor, chest armor, and things like that, or helmets, you know, various size helmets, or you're making, let's see, shoulder armor, and you need a base, I highly recommend, you know, getting various sizes of acrylic to heat your material on, like for example, your foam on, because this can withstand heat. They do not melt. And they come in different sizes. I got some when I was traveling. This one I got especially in Japan. They sell these in Japan. They also sell these online. This one melted a little bit, but I don't think it's acrylic all the way. It's, I don't know what this material, I think it might be some kind of plastic, but you definitely want to get acrylic. Because this will be amazing to use for manipulating your shapes, especially dome shapes, because dome shapes, I have to say, they're very, very hard to do with just, you know, like your hands. So I highly recommend getting dome shaped acrylic balls, half domes. And you can get it at any kind of like craft store that specializes in this stuff. Or you can buy it online. I've seen it online. I think I bought this one online. And like I said, they're easy to travel with. They're lightweight and they shouldn't cost too much. The bigger domes, the bigger half domes, they're like $30 to $40, but this one is about like 10. So it's not that bad, you know, it's an investment and I've been using this for years. So everything that you buy, just know that a lot of times the longevity of a certain item is very important as well. So just to go over this, because I'm talking pretty fast, because I want to get everything in for you guys. A non-stick pair of scissors for patterning. If you're doing dome shapes like shoulders or, you know, chest armor and things like that, or just anything that you think that would go well for your costumes, that's useful is dome shapes in acrylic. A heat gun, which is crucial to any kind of armor making manipulating materials, and also a heat gun holder if you can afford one, along with your heat gun, and also saran wrap for moving. You don't, like I said, you don't have to buy this specific style, but this is great for if you're doing this by yourself. I'll show you guys very soon. And also duct tape. Okay, so now that we have everything, also remember to have a permanent pen for your patterning because you're going to need it. Don't use a regular pen because it's just going to wipe off, especially your shapes. So get a permanent pen, a Sharpie. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to switch over to my face cam and I think I can do this. I think I can do this in time. We can do anything as cosplayers, right? So let's try. All right. So what I'm going to do is wrap my arm to make an arm pattern. So this is really fun because I usually watch anime when I'm doing this or like watch a show and you don't really have to think too much. Let me move my mic really quick and I can just show you guys like how I do it. All right, so you're just gonna hold one side and then wrap. That's all it is. And you can see how easy that is to make an arm brace like pattern. Obviously this is not the last, this is not the last, tutorial in this part, but I'm going to show you like don't wrap too loosely and you don't wrap too tight. There's a reason why, because you want to cut yourself out of it. And then after you do that, after you wrap your arm like this, you want to press down slightly. So I've noticed that when I wrap my arms too tightly, the shape obviously is manipulated because it's kind of squeezing onto my my body and it's kind of like jagged and stuff like that. So you definitely want to make it a little bit looser so you can press the saran wrap into your arm or wherever you're pressing it into to make the shape for you. You don't have to like squeeze it every time like a sausage or something. You want to be like very careful because you want to be able to cut it out later. So let me zoom in. So this is saran wrap here. And then here is my arm. So I made it a little bit too tight here, but it's okay. It's all right. We're just testing it out. And then I always like to tell people to cut like a bunch at a time first, because a lot of time when you're wrapping this around, it wastes material. I'm all about saving as much material as possible. So So we're going to measure around, this is about 5 inches around my wrist. So we have that much. Okay. So I'm kind of like eyeballing it. And then I'm going to cut a bunch of these sheets here. Not sheets, but duct tape to wrap around my arm. And I'm going to cut like about 5. And I'll show you exactly how I do it, because this way saves me so much duct tape that I've been doing it a lot more than I used to before, because I used to overlap my duct tape, and that was, number one, it kind of did not help me with my patterning, and also it wasted material. So since my arm is pretty, you know, pretty straight, you can do this for your legs as well. I've been doing this with my legs and my thighs, so it's really great for keeping that in mind to save material. Because like I said, this all adds up. So you want to be very, very careful with how much you're using all the time, you know? All right. So after we cut 4 sheets, not sheets, sorry, I keep on calling them sheets. Strips. There we go. Strips of duct tape. We press it down to our arm this way, not wrapping it, not like how we did the saran wrap, doing it like that. And don't worry about these lines here, it's fine. So you see how that covers the whole arm? Like, it doesn't have to be even because I'm going to cut that off. But yeah, like, it saves so much duct tape. Let me do the last piece here. I think we need one more strip of duct tape to cover this. And you use less duct tape. Instead of wrapping it over and over, you know, and overlapping it, that just wastes a lot of material. So I always try to tell people to do it this way, because when you overlap the duct tape, it gets tighter and it's harder to get your arm out or leg out or whatever body part. And like I said, it saves material, number one. Okay, let's tape this. You guys could see. Let me use another mirror, but I mean, since it's just a demo, I think we should be fine. Oh no, we need more tape. See, I'm missing. All right. But we don't need the longest piece like we did before. All right. And see, you can see it's like, doesn't take that long. What, it's been 4 minutes me doing this? Not long. So you can make patterns rather quickly. And you can take as long as you want. Because it is your pattern, you're going to be using it. So if you already know like where it's going to stop, I would mark it right now. So you take your Sharpie and then probably mark your wrists across like that. Because this bone right here, if it protrudes like mine, I'm really bony. You don't want it to kind of interfere with your mobility. You always got to think about that when you're making patterns, mobility and everything like that. That's important. And then also your elbow right here and the mobility there. So I would probably cut this out too. So I would do that, like a line like that. And then go all the way around. Your lines don't have to be insanely straight because you can even out with your pattern. So here we go. And I'm going to make one line down here. Since this was taped down, right down the middle, so it's actually like a ruler for myself. So I really don't have to like measure it too perfectly. So you're kind of cheating in a lot of ways when you do it this way. So now we are going to cut it. So what you're going to do is lift the tape off. You're going to use your nonstick scissors. Make sure the scissors are rounded because it could really cut you. And lift. Lift and cut a little bit at first. You want to go really slow with this because you can easily cut yourself. So if someone's around that can help you, please ask for help. But since I'm doing this by myself, you can definitely do it by yourself. You just got to be very slow. I'm not sure if you can see this, but... And like I said, you don't have to be perfect with this because you're going to have a pattern and you can even out later. This is just to have your initial pattern that you can spruce up later, but it's pretty accurate because this is a duct tape pattern. I can actually cut that later. Here we go. And then I'm going to go in there and cut down that straight line. Make sure you go really slow because you don't want to cut yourself, like I said. And if your saran wrap's not too thick, it should be insanely easy to get out of here. And I'll be honest with you, I'm holding my breath because this part always makes me nervous, which is good. You want to be a little bit nervous because you don't want to cut yourself. But you know, since the nonstick scissors glide through like butter, you shouldn't worry too much. There we go. And you got your pattern. Super easy, right? And now you can cut it. So there we go. And you can finish cutting your pattern out. And it may look a little bit messy, but you know what? It works. Because now you have a perfect pattern of your arm. And that, I think, took what? How long? 6 minutes? Just for one arm, and you can duplicate this arm for the other. And then you can flatten it, make sure everything's flat. You can even use this to roll it out, which I've done before because it's there. And then you can transfer your pattern to your paper. Super, super simple. So don't be afraid of patterning for armor. It's actually very fun and not too hard, you know. It's pretty easy. So we're going to finish this off by transferring it to a piece of paper. Like I said, it doesn't have to be even because you can figure that out later with a ruler or something like that if you have it handy. But since this is a demo, I'm kind of loosely doing it, but it still works. Trust me, I can probably make a piece of armor right now with just this pattern. And you also do want to consider the thickness of your foam. So if your foam is thicker, you definitely want to also take that into consideration because a lot of times the pattern needs more space inside of your arm. So outside of your arm to fit. So you got to think about that too. So this is the arm pattern. I know it's a little bit jagged, but we'll even out right now. I can do this all day. I love doing patterns. It's so much fun. And then what I usually do is cut one side and then I fold it and then copy that one side because it takes away the unevenness that you generally get by trying to trace only. So I'll cut it like that. And like I said, this is the looser way. If I was taking my time on this, I would be like really, really slow when I'm doing a pattern. So don't rush yourself making a pattern because that is the most critical part of your project. Patterning is the most important, in my opinion. So take your time. What I like to do is leave a half an inch or an inch of my pattern because I like to, I'll show you guys why very soon. So I'm going to even it out here. Make it rounded. There we go. So this is my pattern for my arm. And I like to use, and I'll probably use like a ruler here. Maybe I'll do it on this side. Let me get an X-Acto blade. Gonna clean up this line that we just made. And as you can see, I left half an inch because, I'll tell you why. We are going to be using that as our guide for when we actually make the brace, we can put Velcro right here or magnets into our pattern. And then when you put it around your arm, the foam or whatever material you're using, pretend this is foam. You can add magnets or Velcro or snaps, and it should stay there, your armor piece. So you always want to leave a little bit to make sure that you can add some kind of like, you know, mechanism to strap it together. But yeah, that's how you make a pattern. I am super excited that you possibly learned something through this video. This is the third one. So the next one is one of my favorite topics too. I feel like everything's my favorite topic, but please stay tuned to my cosplay armor masterclass. And thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, always reach out. Bye guys.